Hello and welcome to drillingcontractor.org. I'm Ava Vig reporting from the IADC Well Control Conference in Galveston. I'm here with Evelyn Baldwin, Assistant Operations Manager and Human Factors Lead, and Kim Larson, Operations Manager at Maersk Training. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So why is decision making one of the most critical competencies a drill crew can have for well control?
Well, I think really the decision making encompasses all of the crew resource management parts of that we're training, right? So ultimately, everything boils down to do they make the right decision.
And what can the industry do to better train drillers and tool pushers to become expert decision makers?
So I think for well control, we are doing a pretty good job when it comes to the drillers. Their decision making is spot on. They know what to do. It comes second nature to them when they see the well control incident happening, and we get back into a safe configuration. When it comes to the tool pushers, what we see is that the way that we do the traditional well control training right now is that when we put them into the simulators, they already assume that it's a kick that's going on, which it might not be. So they go ahead and start weighing up mud and maybe start killing the well, but it could have been ballooning or it could have been trap pressure. And now we backed ourselves into a corner where we narrowed the drilling window, which is not a good decision. And really working with these decisions, I think we can get a better result.
What are some commonalities across the board that make people good decision makers?
When we look at good decision makers, there are three things that they do on a consistent basis. The three things are they're really good at minding their time and figuring out how much time they have to make a decision. Because if you have a short amount of time, you can't really sit around and talk about options. But if you have a day, you can pull in outside teams and get expert advice. The second thing that good decision makers do are they're really good at defining the situation or assessing the situation, identifying what's the problem that we're actually trying to solve and what are the critical circumstances for this particular scenario. And then the final thing that good decision makers do is they're consistent at considering their contingency options so that when they go into a plan, they have a backup plan. So when things start to go wrong, they immediately know how to respond so they don't get themselves into a worse configuration.
What are some tools we can give leaders to continue to be good decision makers?
Well, there are a vast amount of decision-making tools out there. My personal favorite is what we used or we pulled from the nuclear industry, and they use a tool called STAR. And STAR simply just means stop, think, act, and review. So they break the decision-making model down into 4 particular phases. Stop and pull together your team. Think, and that's where you start looking at what information you have, how it's similar to past experience, and evaluating your options. And then you have to act on it, put the plan into action. And then the review phase is something that you do continually during the act phase. Hey, is it working, or do I need to go into plan B? And then at the end, was it a successful outcome? Was it successful because it was the right decision, or was it successful because we were lucky?
Well, thank you both for joining us today. And thank you, viewers, for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.